Hello creatives! In this video, I'll share with you the hidden secrets of money that'll shock you by Dr. Miles Monroe. Learn about the keys to unlocking wealth and achieving financial freedom. Up to his untimely death, Dr. Miles Monroe was an inspirational pastor, teacher, and author. He touched so many with his spellbinding financial and spiritual advice, which earned him global recognition. The Bahamas-born Christian minister challenged not just fellow men of the cloth, but also corporate guys and political leaders. So some loved him, others found him controversial, but what was undeniable was his intelligence and mastery of words. This guy is known for saying, "The greatest tragedy in life is not death, but life without a purpose." He's also the one who said, "The poorest man in the world is a man without a dream." I got interested in what the departed man of God had to say about money, so I decided to read some of his books and listen to some of his sermons about the hidden secrets of money. Guess what? The secrets I'm going to share are shocking. Watch out for the explanation behind why you aren't wealthy yet. But before then, if you are new here, consider subscribing to this channel to continue receiving great videos like this one. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you get informed every time I publish a life-changing video. Let's keep the ball rolling. Number 1. Principle of Management. According to Dr. Miles Monroe, the principle of management is an essential key for living a financially free life. In today's church and people's lives, management is strangely absent. Most pastors graduate from Bible school but don't attend even a single management class, and they start running a church. This is the reason why most churches are broke and are constantly attracting broke individuals. It's also why the congregation is financially embarrassed to quote scripture as they don't experience its promise. Dr. Monroe uses the scripture in Genesis chapter 2 to explain why God didn't allow anything to grow on the face of the earth immediately after creation. According to Monroe, the reason for that is the earth lacked a human to work on the ground. Here goes the secret. Dr. Monroe argues that the word God used for work is ergon, which translates into management. You must be shocked, right? He further explains that God didn't allow anything to grow on the earth soon after creation because he didn't have a manager. He would then create the manager, Adam, and his subordinate Eve to have dominion over the earth's resources. This explains why management is such an important factor for success. What's management and how can you use the principle of management? Dr. Monroe defines management as an efficient, appropriate, and timely use of someone's resources as delegated to produce added value. Two things stand out in this definition. 1. You don't own the resources when you are a manager. 2. You are obliged to add value to the resources that you've been given. If we focus on the second part, you have to maximize every resource to ensure it improves its worth. According to Dr. Monroe, God expects you to do this, and he gets upset when you're lazy. This principle can be concluded with these pointers. God will not give you something that you pray for unless you can manage it. So don't expect God to provide you with more money if you can't handle the little you have. God expects you to be an economist. An economist is simply a person who gets the maximum from the minimum. The takeaway: money should come to you. If it keeps getting away from you, it's telling you that you can't manage it. Number 2. Power of dominion. Dominion means to govern or rule, and anyone who wants to be rich has to have it. There are 4 levels of dominion as follows. A. Fruitfulness. Being fruitful is about being productive. Poverty is a product of non-productivity. It's not due to a lack of resources, but a lack of creativity and a lack of productivity. Dr. Monroe says no money has left the planet. He argues that God didn't give us shoes, but he hid them in the cows. He didn't give us chairs, he hid them in the trees. B. Multiplication. Once you are fruitful, you need to reproduce. That's what it means to multiply. Having a good idea doesn't make you wealthy, you have to multiply it. For example, McDonald's is very successful in the burger market because it produces up to 1 billion burgers a month to satisfy the global market. C. replenish. To replenish means to distribute. You don't stop at just multiplying your production, but you also ensure more people get access to it. D. Subdue. To subdue is to control the market. For example, Jeff Bezos is the richest man alive because he owns the online shopping market. The takeaway: to be wealthy, you have to have dominion, which is a product of being fruitful, multiplying, replenishing, and subduing. Number 3. The power of self-preservation. Life's greatest motivation is self-preservation, which means access to everything you need. In simple terms, self-preservation is another term for being wealthy, which is different from being rich. Being rich means accumulating excess resources, while being wealthy means producing what you need when you need it. Speaking of wealth or self-preservation, you have to seek 5 spheres of wealth as follows. Physical wealth. Physical wealth means bodily health or simply not being sick. Spiritual wealth. Being close to God and giving Him our worship. Soul wealth. Soul wealth means having good intellect. Social wealth. Having good friends around you. Influential wealth. Influential wealth means being impactful where you are. The takeaway: you need all the spheres of wealth to be wealthy. You are poor if you lack one of them. Number 4. Don't seek success. Instead, seek to become a person of value. Most people chase after success, and that's not what the rich do. When you make yourself valuable, success and money will come. He says, if you become valuable in the world will pay you to be yourself. People pay so much for gas, water, and gold because the resources are valuable. So, if you want to make money, make yourself valued. Think of Michael Jordan or Tiger Woods. Those guys are successful and wealthy because they made themselves valuable. What they did is identify a niche and made themselves worthwhile within it. Another person who made himself valuable was Jesus. He declared that He is the bread of life and the water of life, and that was His sole purpose on earth. It was His value. The takeaway: find your gift, explore it, and make yourself valuable in it. That's how you attract success and money. Number 5. Chase God and not money. Dr. Monroe explains how God's economy works when he tackles this hidden secret of money. He targets people who are overburdened by the lack of money and those who can't have enough. He draws his argument from Ecclesiastes 5 verse 10, which says, "Whoever loves money never has enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with their income." In essence, what the doctor is trying to say is that when we choose to chase money, we're pushing God away, and in the long run, we end up with neither. It's not that you shouldn't make money, but don't sacrifice your time worshiping God for money. The doctor concludes with the assessment that you are likely to have money when you put God first. That means giving Him the worship that He deserves at all times. The takeaway: learn to chase God and not money. When you do it, the money will chase after you. Number 6. The power of a gift. The royal protocol dictates that you don't go to a king empty-handed. The king, in this case, is God, who you shouldn't approach without a gift. Wondering why? Well, kings don't forget. Once you give them a gift, they remember and act. The other reason is that gifts are distracting. Kings can look at it and recognize how much it must have cost you. Gifts also show your worship for the king, and as a result, they attract the king's favor. More importantly, gifts show you acknowledge the ownership. According to Dr. Monroe, kings own everything. So when they ask you to give, it's a way to test if you recognize their ownership. So what should you do when giving to God? Well, pick a gift that provokes the king to act. It's not about the price of the gift, but how much it cost you. Of course, the gift shouldn't be cheap or insulting to the king. Dr. Monroe argues that everyone has something to give. He says, don't ever make a mistake of telling God that you've got nothing to offer. That simply isn't true. God does not create any junk. The takeaway: gifts acknowledge the king's ownership, and giving to the king is, without a doubt, thanksgiving. Number 7. God's money-back guarantee. According to Dr. Monroe, God never demands anything that He does not provide for. Whatever God commands us to do, He equips us to do. The Creator knows that you can do it if you put your mind and heart into it. He has put some potential in you, be it in business, invention, or leadership. He knows that you can succeed at it if you only trust Him and trust in your capability. If there are any defects with your gift or talent, then return it to the manufacturer. Characteristically, what this means is that you have to put your gift into work, and once you feel like something's wrong, then talk to God in prayer. God is the principal creator, and He, therefore, has the power and wisdom to fix you. The takeaway: God doesn't make mistakes in His creation. He has bestowed upon you the potential to succeed and become wealthy, and all you have to do is recognize that and trust you can do it. In conclusion, making money requires understanding the secrets of money, and no one explains that better than Dr. Miles Monroe. Though he's no longer with us, his words of wisdom continue to touch, change, and inspire millions globally. I know this video was exciting and you loved it. Also check out these videos about 10 rules of money and 5 rules of financial literacy and other life-changing resources in the description below. If you haven't subscribed yet, you're definitely missing out. See you in the next one.